Hello and welcome to the Missouri State University College Panalytics Zoom recruitment video. My name is Terry Weber. I'm the director of the Placer Student Union and I'll be serving as a narrator for this video. This video will demonstrate the various functions that have been established for the virtual recruitment process for the 2020 primary recruitment process for Missouri State University. We'll begin with a quick overview of the Zoom room that's been assigned to every chapter. So who has access and control to each room? Each chapter has received a license that has been purchased by the Panalytic Association, and each Vice President of Recruitment or Technology Chair has been assigned as an administrator for that particular Zoom account. While many of us have likely used Zoom during the pandemic, several of the functions that are associated with Zoom have been disabled for recruitment purposes. Those include no chatting, no recording, and then we've also enabled the waiting room and breakout rooms. Each room has a max capacity of 300, which we do not anticipate exceeding or needing to exceed during this time. One thing that each chapter might want to do is change its avatar. To do so, log into your Zoom account and click on the Profile tab here. You'll see the gray avatar picture with the change link underneath here that you can click on change, and you can upload a JPEG no larger than 2 megabytes per upload. Click on the upload button and save that picture. During each recruitment event, there will be various people that will have access to the room. Those people include one Panalytic Association member, that could be a PHA or an executive member that will help with the attendance and monitoring of the event itself. Each chapter will have a technical chair as a co-host, the chapter members, and then of course the potential new members. It'll be important to note that the potential new members will not be able to log in prior to the host, which means that each chapter will have to initiate its meeting before anybody will have access to the site. If a P&M attempts to log into the Zoom meeting prior to the chapter starting it, a dialog box will appear indicating that the meeting will start when the host arrives. We encourage chapters to arrive 15 minutes prior to the event start so that all the logistics can happen well in advance of the event start time. P&Ms will be instructed to click on the link about 5 minutes before the start time, and then they will be directed to the waiting room so that attendance can be taken by the Panalytic Association member. So now let's demonstrate how to create the meeting room links for each of the event rounds. Based on recommendations from MPC and Campus Director, we suggest creating one link for each round of recruitment. That means it'll be the same link for all events in that round, meaning that if you have 7 events on for day 1, that you'll still use the same link for each of those 7 events. To do so, once you log into your account, click on the Meetings tab here. Click on Schedule a New Meeting. And in the topic, you'll want to list your chapter name, the round number, and then the event number. For instance, Gamma Phi Beta, round 1, event 4. In the one field, you'll set your date and time for the start time of the event, and then in the duration of the event, you're going to enter the entire length of the event, meaning that if day 1 is 4 hours, you're going to put 4 hours in this area right here. You will leave recurring meeting unchecked, so as you do not need to have a recurring meeting for that particular event. On the meeting ID, you'll have generate automatically. That way it will create a unique ID for every single recruitment round for security purposes. For additional security measures, we're asking that a passcode be enabled and also the waiting room be enabled at the same time. The video selections will be on for both the host and the participant, and we suggest the audio connections to be both, so that if a P&M wants to use their phone, they can, but we're certainly suggesting that they use a hardwired connection via a PC or Macintosh. For meeting options, we also suggest that mute participants upon entry occur so that you don't have excessive noise at the beginning of each call with so many people joining those calls. Further within the meeting options, we ask that you leave unchecked the Enable Join Before Host. Only authenticated users can join, and then you all can decide if you want to pre-assign breakout rooms or not. If you would like to pre-assign breakout rooms, all you'll need to do is select this box here. And you have a couple of options, but we suggest that you click on Import from CSV file, meaning that you're going to create a template based on an Excel spreadsheet that you can download using this link here. When you open up the link, it'll take you to an Excel box, and then what you will do is you will pre-assign everybody based on their room number and their email address that they're using to log into Zoom. This will probably be a lot handier for the chapter members whose email addresses that you'll have on hand, just in case a P&M decides to use an alternate email address to log into Zoom for some reason. We're encouraging that they use their Missouri State email address, but certainly we will not be able to monitor that given the large amount of P&Ms that are going through the process. So to pre-assign those breakout rooms, you'll enter the information as you see within this screen here. You'll save the file, and then you'll upload it to the Zoom window here. At the very bottom, you'll click on the Save button, and then that will create a meeting link for that particular recruitment round. You'll also note the alternative host field here. While we certainly recommend that you have another chapter member serve as an alternate host, and potentially a Panhellenic Association member too, we ask that you don't pre-assign those at this time. You can assign the host once the meeting has started. Each chapter will want to create their own links and then send those links via email to both Jordan Smith, Vice President of Recruitment for PHA, and Dr. Andrea Weber. We also encourage that each of the chapters send their links out to their chapter members so that they can put those on their calendar, and then the chapter members will have easy access to the Zoom meeting for that round and that day. When you're ready to start your event, you'll click on Meetings, and then you'll click on the appropriate link for the meeting of that event round. In this case, for the test purposes, I've created a test meeting. When you click on that link, all you'll need to do is click on Start This Meeting. After you click to start this meeting, you'll see that the Zoom dialog box opens up. You can select your audio options, and you'll see all the options that you have here down at the bottom. As people enter the meeting room, you'll notice the dialog box that pops up that says that people have entered the waiting room. To admit them, you'll click on See Waiting Room, and you can admit all, or you can admit them individually. Once you've admitted them, to make them a co-host, you hover over their name, and an ellipses will appear that will allow you to select to add them as an additional host. And as you can see here at this event, we've gone ahead and admitted all of our potential new members, our chapter members, and anybody else working the recruitment event to this particular round. And as I mentioned earlier, if you want to make somebody an additional co-host, all you do is you click on the participants screen, which is already pulled up here, hover over somebody's name, and when you click on more, you'll have all kinds of options. So you can even highlight their video if that's something that you want to do, but more importantly, if you want to make them the host or the co-host, you may do so. We suggest making them the co-host so that you don't give up your rights as the overall administrator for this particular event. Now let's talk about breakout rooms. Breakout rooms have presented quite a little bit of difficulty related to the pre-assignment thereof. We're recommending at this time not to pre-assign breakout rooms. We've tried both uploading the CSV file and pre-assigning them in the scheduling function of Zoom, and have not had success doing so either way. We're recommending instead that you assign the breakout rooms on the fly, as we've had much better success with doing so. In order to assign the breakout rooms, you click on Breakout Rooms. You can add as many rooms as you want, up to a max of 50 rooms. So that means if you have more than 50 P&Ms at a particular event and you still want that 1-to-1 ratio of P&M members to chapters members, you're not able to do so. Again, a max of 50. Once you added all the rooms that you need, you click on Assign, and then you select the individual or individuals that you want to add to that particular breakout room. Once you've assigned everybody to a breakout room, you have a couple of options. You can exchange members or you can move them to breakout rooms. In this instance, Angela Simpson, if I wanted to change her with Emily Schulenberg, I click on exchange and hover over Emily's name, and once I click Emily's name, it swaps them. If I want to move Emily to a totally different breakout room, I click on Move To, select the breakout room that I want to move Emily to, and then click on that. At the bottom, you'll notice the Options tab. We have a couple of suggestions related to the options. Certainly, you will want to most likely have a countdown timer based on your own chapter operations for that particular recruitment event or round. You'll also probably want to have a notification when the time is nearly up. And as far as the countdown after the closing of the breakout room, we're recommending 60 seconds. That way it gives people plenty of time with which to exit their breakout room, and individuals will have the chance to select when they exactly leave the breakout room when the sessions are over. When it's time to move to breakout rooms, you will click Open All Rooms. And then a dialog box at the top here will indicate that all participants have been invited to join the breakout rooms. And then everybody assigned to that breakout room will have to click the join option on their screen. Once everybody has clicked on join, you'll notice a green light next to everybody's name, indicating that they have successfully been added to the breakout room. When it's time to do your bump or rotation, you click on an individual's name and select the room that you would like them to do. Another item of note is that you'll probably have to keep track of who is in which room so that you can make the transition from breakout room to breakout room easier. Once everybody's in a breakout room, the only way to communicate with them is to broadcast a message to all. In this case, I'm going to say 5 minutes remaining. And on everybody's individual screen, they should see a notification saying 5 minutes remaining. And as a reminder to chapters, once the event has started, it is up to the chapters to manage the breakout rooms and everything associated with that particular event round. Panhellenic is not responsible for the rotations or the breakout rooms or anything within the event itself. When it's time to close all the breakout rooms associated with your chapter's operations, you click on Close All Rooms. And this is where the 60-second timer may be helpful. You all might decide that you want a smaller timer. That is certainly up to you. We just recommend a minute to give people opportunity to close conversations. And another way to manage the breakout rooms, you do have the opportunity to rename them, which might make the rotation groups and their assignment thereof much easier. Now let's talk about some things to think about related to virtual recruitment. We're certainly recommending the use of a hardwired data connection versus Wi-Fi for the signal integrity and the signal strength at the same time. We're also recommending that users do not use an iPad service or a phone in particular, but rather a computer, whether that's a PC or Macintosh. The number of breakout rooms we mentioned is a cap of 50, but we're certainly encouraging the fewer breakout rooms to be used, the better, because that will decrease the amount of bandwidth usage across all of Zoom, and that's something that I think we should be concerned about related to this particular virtual recruitment. We would also encourage you to think about using multiple networks. So chapters might think about spreading out their chapter members among the chapter facility, Missouri State's campus, personal apartments, or other private locations that have a good hardwired signal or strong Wi-Fi. The more spread out the load across the chapter facilities network and other networks, the better the ability to have a reduction in connection issues or lag issues. That completes this video at this time. Please feel free to reach out to myself or any member of the Panhellenic Association for further assistance related to Zoom. Again, my name is Terry Weber. I'm the Director of the Placer Student Union. My phone number is 836-5886, and my email address is terryweber@missouristate.edu. And my cell phone number is 417-353-8883.